Hi everyone. Hi everyone. This week I built upon my previous model from last week. So as a reminder, I talked about financial information systems, how they're kind of like a wobbly chair. When they're not working, it's very obvious, but otherwise they're kind of not appreciated. And so this week, as I was thinking about how financial systems are used in technology and engineering companies, I kind of thought about the same thing, right? The chair is now surrounded by some sort of structure. So our financial information system is plugged into something that is broader. And so the financial information system is going to be the internals of our organization. And then everything else around the strategies of how to make money is external, right? So that would represent some sort of structure around it. And so with this, I thought of the foundation as research and development. With pretty much any technology company, it is going to be built and created because of some sort of new innovation. And so that's always going to be the foundation of these companies. And everything that they do is going to be trying to create profit, right? That's the point of all companies. They're trying to solve problems to create profit. And so I guess kind of what I thought of as the in-between between the research and development and the profit is everything else that goes into running a business. So in these, I call it pillars and walls, and you'll see why for a second. But the three biggest areas are investment, what are we going to do? How are we going to invest in our own company? And then, how are we going to generate revenue? And what are we going to spend our money on? And then everything else is it could fit into one of those categories. And the reason I didn't necessarily label any walls is because in individual companies, one of these pillars might be larger areas of focus. Right? There's some tech companies that really focus on customer support, for example. But then there's other companies that don't really give much time or attention to customer support because they're going to rely on the community of users to be helping one another. And so this is kind of the model that I was thinking of in my head, but I don't have enough Legos to build that. And in this model, you'll kind of notice that there's two pillars here that are a lot larger, and that goes back to what I just mentioned, that for some companies, as we look at this list, some companies, their subscription revenue is what's going to be driving them to creating profit, and so that's why that could be a really strong pillar for them. And other companies might do a lot of advertising, that might be another strong pillar for them, that they get a lot of their leads and a lot of their new customers through advertising. But some companies are going to be doing a lot of focus on their product and making sure that their product is so good that everybody in the industry needs to use it to be successful. And so with this, these are just a few demonstrations, There's a lot of ways that these pillars that I've just described can go wrong, but as long as you have enough of them, it will continue to sustain your profit. And that's why it's also important, going back to this last diagram, that as long as you have three things that are really strong, it can almost always keep the business churning. And that allows companies to dabble in new innovative things that they can try to generate more profit, as long as they have a consistent stream coming in. And everything's going to continue to work until your profit starts to fall. And so that's kind of my analogy for this week. Thanks. That's it.